Alright, ladies and gents, I'm here. Welcome to Scotch and Smoke Rings episode... Oh yeah. It's been a long time since I've actually remembered which episode this is. This is the pre-show, ladies and gentlemen. Which means that... If I can find the disc. And it's not in there. Where's the disc? There it is. This is the pre-show, ladies and gentlemen. And for those of you who have been around for the past few weeks, you're going to remember that I have to smoke in my car nowadays. So, in order to have the smoke part of Scotch and Smoke Rings, here I am in the car. But we got the same music, we got some good cigars. And I'm going to go ahead and open up my laptop here and find the chat so that I can continue to chat with people. Okay. Alright, my chat is up so that now I can see what you're typing, if you are indeed typing. And let me refresh my show. There we go. Alright, I'm seeing people here. Madman Max says, we're late for the pre-show. Dragon XL says, 'cause reasons. Imagine Justin says, don't say he's late. Gentleman Badger says, hail, hail, Ox. Alright, let me see if I can hear myself. You are indeed typing. Check, check, check. Sounds like you can hear me. That's great. Okay. Let's see if I can move this over here just a wee bit. And if I can place this there. Hey, look at that. Now you should be able to see me. Robin2258 says, Ox, we know you have to smoke outside and that house management is not a metaphor for wife. Well, indeed. I suppose it could be. But no, my beautiful wife Jody has been very supportive of my cigar hobby over the years. After all, she met me smoking a cigar. So, I'm a little torn. I just got this new shipment. Ah, Gentleman Badger says, am I the only one hearing classical music? That's because you're hearing my computer. Oh. Which in turn means that I'm not going to be able to monetize this week's episode because YouTube's copyright platform will catch it. Mr. Temna says, good evening, Master Ox. For those of us who have not been able to watch for a few weeks, I greet you good early evening. Good evening, my friend. Jumpdown Badger says, I am not experiencing any lag, so Periscope is doing you good justice. Thank you. I'm glad to hear that. Okay. Where was I? So my brother came over yesterday. And had dinner at my house with his wife and his little baby girl. And we had to go out to get the food. And so I gave my brother a cigar, and we smoked it in this car while we were driving. It was a nice brotherly bonding experience. But we didn't finish them. So we left them here in my cigar cup holder tray. And my intention was to come out here and smoke them for the show. The thing is, though, they got smushed. They're pretty gnarly. So, you know what? I'm just going to chalk these up. There's no point forcing myself to gut through it if I'm not enjoying it. The point of cigars is to enjoy the cigar, not to be fastidious and to smoke every last leaf of it. It's not like we're eating food during the Great Depression. It's not like I need to eat every last pea on my plate. Alright, so I'm cutting a new one, ladies and gents. It actually works really well. Does that make it better or worse? I think it makes it worse. There we go. Yeah, look at that. Science. Did I bump the cam? Looks like my calendar. Oh my gosh! Really? For all that is good and holy in this world. It's a good thing I don't have anything embarrassing on my calendar. I think there's like show and eat, don't eat. I've got myself on like a intermittent fasting diet thing. Like pick up Gavin from school, that's about it. Bury the bodies in the back. No, it totally doesn't say that. Daggone it, man. You can't see my face, can you? You still can't see me. There. How's that? It's a little crooked. No, that's not too bad. Yeah, let's just go with that. Talendale says, good thing he's not drinking scotch while driving. This is very true. So the scotch and smoke ring segments of the show are now portioned out. Smoke ring section in the car, scotch section in the garage later. So, lots going on. There's a new Hearthstone expansion. What does this mean for us all? Tonight, I don't know, there's a new Hearthstone adventure. I'll probably be playing that a little bit instead of taking challenges, just to show off what it is. There's a new Tavern Brawl, but it's an old Tavern Brawl. It's Ragnaros versus Nefarian. Madman Max says, is by chance is that a Rover 75? The guts of your car look like it. No, it's a Scion XB, Toyota Scion XB. Miss Solange says, can I talk yet? Yeah, I'm back. Yes, you can talk, and I can hear you. I hope my automated banning software is not being too annoying. The Gentleman Badger says, you may be receiving a gift to purchase that adventure sometime this month, my friend. And by I mean, you will be. By that I mean you will be. Well, thank you very much. I'm excited. It looks good. Does that mean I can't play it without purchasing it? In that case, we'll probably do a lot of Tavern Brawl today. Robin says, does that car have the dreaded Toyota electronic throttle? I don't know. I don't know enough about cars. I like it. It drives okay. Can't complain. Can you describe to me how a cigar tastes? Asks Razgan. This cigar is a little harsh, I have to admit. It's shorter than we're used to, and it's been traveling. I just got them yesterday, so I haven't had a chance to put them in my humidor to soak up humidity. But it's a little peppery. It tastes a little bit like pepper. It's a little hot, a little spicy. earthy. I'd say it's earthy. It's very earthy. Almost tastes like I'm chewing on a big mouthful of dirt. So yeah, I'm loving it. And not all cigars taste the same. Some of them taste a little bit like chocolate or molasses. Some of them taste fruity and aromatic. This is a little bit harsh because it hasn't been taken care of. I just got it. And so because of that, a lot of the flavors and notes that you normally get, it's supposed to have a leathery touch, and this has a papery touch, which means it's a little bit dried out. So I need to wait probably a couple months before I smoke many more of these. Otherwise, I'm not going to enjoy them. But it's still okay. I'm somewhat enjoying it. Miss Solange says, so Oxhorn, I got you 3 cigars. I'll be sending them to you. An Alec Bradley, a Sanctum, and a Rocky Patel. The Edge, and an Avo Syncro. Each cigar has a unique taste and flavor, correct? Indeed. Indeed, they all do have a unique taste and flavor. Andy the DK is in the chat. Hail, hail, Ox, and greetings all. Greetings, Andy the DK. Good to have you here. Indeed, all cigars do have unique and distinct flavors. This is a La Aurora $14.95 series. I bought this on an auction. Yeah, you can get really good cigar deals with online cigar auctions. And so I got these for under $1 a stick, which is unheard of. To get a hand-rolled, handmade cigar for under $1 a stick, it's crazy cheap. So I got a bunch of these, and they need to be cared for. So I'm going to put them in my humidor, put them in the bottom, let them soak up some moisture over the next couple of months before I smoke any more of these. Whew, it's a harsh cigar. Ooh-wee. It's pretty rough. You know what? I'm also noticing that my tolerance is going down. You know, as a natural offset. Let's see. So because I can no longer smoke in my own home, I smoke a lot less. It's much more inconvenient. Because of that, the immunity that I've been building up to cigars is sort of decreasing. And I find that when I do sit down to smoke, they impact me in greater ways than they ever used to. I can feel the punch right in the throat when I smoke a cigar, which I hadn't felt that in years. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. The Gentleman Badger says, only a few months until I can enjoy a nice combustible on the show. I'm counting down the episodes left. That's great news. Happy birthday ahead of time. I look forward to being able to toast cigars your way. Silly Ox, when it comes to new content in Hearthstone, Blizzard always wants your money. Yes, Greg Hartung, that's true. Should have realized that. Ragson says, isn't the punch the good part? Some people smoke cigars to feel it. They really want to feel the tinglies kind of wash over them and to just be like, whoa, you know. And I don't smoke cigars for that reason. I smoke cigars for the flavor and for the tactile sensation of having smoke in my mouth. So if I have a cigar that's too powerful, I really don't like it. It's just, it detracts from the whole overall experience for me. And so I like cigars that are, I like the flavor of dark cigars, but I don't like the punch of dark cigars. Now, I do like a little bit of a punch. You know, you do want to be able to feel it a little bit. You want it to kind of open up your sinuses. You know, you want that. But you don't want to feel sick. You don't want to be like woozy or dizzy. That's no fun, at least for me. I don't enjoy that. So less powerful cigars, and it also depends upon how you take care of the cigar. If you allow your cigars to get too wet, then the moisture in the cigar will boil and bubble, and you'll build up tar in the foot of the cigar, and it'll taste really bitter, like just nasty, nasty bitter. But if you allow them to get too dry, like these have become, these are okay. They're not too dry. I've seen much worse. But if you allow them to get too dry, then they burn too quickly, which causes a really sort of hot, spicy sensation, and it dries out your mouth. And because it's burning a lot faster, you're getting more nicotine and more of the tar, so you feel it. It's just much stronger. A perfect cigar is kept at 70 degrees and at 70% humidity, and that allows the natural oils from within the cigar to kind of rise to the top of the leaf and to kind of crystallize on top. We call that the plume of the cigar. And when you start to see cigar plume, that's when you know that it's been kept for really nice. It's got a leathery touch to it. It doesn't feel fragile. It doesn't feel like paper. It just feels like a nice, like kind of a supple leaf, really. It feels leathery, and it takes a burn really well. Now, I will tell you that the construction of this cigar is excellent. Look at that. You can tell that the construction of a cigar is good based upon how it burns. You see how it burns in a nice line? It's an even line all the way across. And you see how the ash is staying. It's not flaking away or blowing away. It's stuck. That means that it was made with good quality leaves and that it was packed at just the right tightness and it was hand rolled perfectly. So the construction of this cigar is fine. It's just a little too dried out for my taste. But it's still enjoyable. It's better than no cigar at all. And actually, I have to admit, as I'm smoking it away from the head, or that's the foot, and that's the head, isn't it? This is the sweet, this is the body, and that's the manure. They're supposed to get worse as you get towards the end because it builds up all that tar and nicotine. Andy the DK subscribed for 2 months in a row. Thank you, Andy the DK. You rock. Greg Hartung says, funny, you told me once that the key to a perfect cigar was a dead baby penguin. That, along with a clubbed seal. Clubbed baby seal. Those make the best cigars. Miss Solange says, Ox, when I send these to you, should I keep them separate or should I place them all in one bag? You should be able to place them all in one bag. They'll only be traveling for a few days, so it's not like they're going to contaminate each other or anything like that. When I get them, I have a number of desktop humidors, and I do place all of my cigars in the same humidor. I separate them with dividers by brand, but they are kept in the same humidor, so should be fine that way. Imagine Justin says, I'm hoping to send some cigars for Christmas, Oxhorn. Thank you, Imagine Justin. That would be amazing. Ragsin says, I like bitterness, so maybe I should store cigars in a different way. No, I recommend storing them the appropriate way upon the flavor that you like. I get most of my cigars from Famous Cigars. I forget the URL, but if you just Google Famous Cigars, you're going to find the shop. They have an excellent navigation system for finding good cigars, and a lot of people will review them. So you can find cigars based on the kind of flavor that you want. If you want a really spicy, peppery cigar, you can actually filter by that taste. If you want an earthy or an aromatic cigar, you can filter by that. And also, the lighter the wrapper, the easier on the palate it's going to be. So if you prefer a bitter cigar, get a darker one, like this. This is a really dark wrapper, a Maduro. Those are going to be a little bit more bitter, but not terribly. I think you're just going to have an overall better smoking experience if you store them correctly, and then just choose the right cigars to match your palate, instead of trying to get the cigars you have to taste the way you want. Also, check out Cigar Aficionado reviews. They're going to be able to give you all of the different flavors that come out in a cigar, whether it starts off floral or fruity and ends sort of chocolate and caramely. They write all of those. So Cigar Aficionado, you can find reviews for the top 10, 20, 30 different cigars every single year that they review, and just choose ones based on the reviews you like. Medmon says, did I just tune into Twitch in the car? Yes, you did. He says, holy flack, ash that thing. Yeah, I probably should ash it. But check out how long that ash is sticking on there. That's the sign of a high quality cigar. But it's time to ash it. If you don't ash your cigar, then all of the air that you're sucking through the cigar has to go through inches of ash, which will taint the flavor of the cigar a little bit. It'll taste more burnt. So you ash your cigars as you go along. The Gentleman Badger says, any brand suggestions for my first cigar? That's a tough question because, you know, you can never account for another man's taste. Some men love Rocky Patels, some men love Olivas. I can say that Cubans, in my experience, not that I've ever had one, tend to be a little bit more peppery and a little bit stronger. If you get some from the Dominican Republic and from Nicaragua, they're going to tend to be a little lighter. If you get one with a Connecticut grown wrapper, that is, the leaf comes from tobacco grown in Connecticut, it's going to be lighter color, it's going to feel silkier, and it's going to be a little bit easier on the palate. I mean, you can get a good cigar. See, the problem is every single brand has dozens of different variants of kinds of cigars that you can get. So if you want a good standby, I would get a Romeo y Julieta, an Oliva, a Rocky Patel. Any of those are going to be, you're going to find good cigars by those brands. And then get one with a lighter wrapper for your first smoke. That should break you in fairly easily. I really like La Auroras. My humidors are full of them, but they tend to be pretty strong. They're really strong cigars. Madman Max says, yeah, Oxhorn has only had not Cubans. That's right, I've had about 5 not Cuban cigars in my life. Ragzen says, how do cigars affect teeth health? They don't, to my knowledge. I mean, you do have to brush and you do have to floss. But if you brush and floss, just like you normally would anyway, it's not going to have any negative effect on your teeth health. Now, that said, there are some tobacco users who get gum and mouth cancer. It happens. And if that happens, maybe your teeth will fall out. It happens. People who tend to use chewing tobacco get it more often because their teeth are getting in direct contact with high doses of nicotine. And the fluid that they're creating in their mouths creates this high nicotine juice that it's much worse. The amount of tar and nicotine that hit your gums, that your gums absorb, is far, far, far less than the amount of tar and nicotine that your lungs would absorb if you were a cigarette smoker, and that your mouth would absorb if you were a tobacco chewer. So, I've said many times on this program that cigars are not a safe form of tobacco consumption. There is no safe form of tobacco consumption. But in my opinion, compared with all of the other types of smoking in existence, except for maybe pipe tobacco smoking, this is going to be one of the safest, because the way you smoke a cigar, you can smoke one in a responsible way to mitigate any damage that you do to yourself. So, I do like tobacco pipes. The nice thing about tobacco pipes is your skin never comes into contact with any tobacco leaves. All you do is taste the smoke with your mouth and then blow it away. You never inhale it. And it's the same with the cigar. Yes, you do put it in your mouth, but you never inhale the smoke. You taste the flavor of it, you enjoy it, and then you expel it. Now, if you inhale the smoke, then suddenly a cigar becomes 10 times worse for you than a cigarette, because the amount of nicotine and tar in a cigar is far higher than a cigarette. The major difference is that a cigarette also has a lot of paper filler in it, and it's designed to addict you. So those are more like nicotine fixes, and this is more of like an hour-long leisurely. This is meant to last an entire hour, to span a great deal of time, whereas a cigarette is meant to span 60 seconds. So that's the major differences. Madman Max 21 says, my dad has asthma, and he smokes like 20 cigarettes a day. Does not affect him. He got to a point where it was 100 a day when he was a builder. Every person's oral health is going to be different, primarily based on genetics. I do think that there are a lot of active things you can do in your lifestyle to make sure that your teeth are healthy. That's very true. But there are some people who never brush and never floss, and they never get cavities, for example. And they can smoke packs and packs of cigarettes, and they never lose any teeth. And yet there are some people who brush and floss all the time, and yet they still get cavities, and they still lose teeth. So there's the active side where you can actually mitigate what the damage that goes on in your mouth. And then there's the side you can't control, which is your genetics. And it's just different for every person. And I will point out that maybe your dad wouldn't have asthma if he didn't smoke. I mean, that is a possibility. Chief Smash says, I find that if I smoke a cigar down too far, then I get irritation in my gums. So I tend to stay away from them a bit now, and only smoke occasionally in the summer. Not sure if that happens to a lot of people or not. I never have any irritation in my gums. If I smoke a cigar too far down, it just gets really powerful and tastes bitter, and I tend to not enjoy it quite as much. But I never get any oral irritation. Imagine Justin says, is there a chance for smoke rings? Possibly, let's see. Well, I got one. The problem is that there's air moving in this car. And also, my mustache is getting in the way. Illegal Doctor says, how do you properly smoke a cigar? Great question, I'll tell you. There was a good one. The way to properly smoke a cigar, and I've got an entire video on this, so if you go to YouTube, search for Classy Man I Am, that's my YouTube channel, and check out my playlist on how to smoke a cigar, and I've got a video on how to smoke a cigar. But in short, basically what you do is you just suck on it like a straw, and you hold the smoke in your mouth. Just like you don't inhale water when you drink from a straw, you don't inhale the smoke as it comes into your mouth. You bring it into your mouth, you savor the flavor for a few seconds, then you blow it away. That's it. You don't smoke too quickly. If you smoke too quickly, then it's gonna start to boil and bubble and really start to taste nasty. But 1 or 2 puffs every minute, and you're gonna be good. Is it 7 o'clock? Cigar Ox says, welcome to the official start of episode 328 of Scotch and Smoke Rings. Ragzen says, Ox, do you have Patreon? No, I should. I should probably set one up. People have been reminding me to, and I just haven't gotten around to it. I'll set up a Patreon. One of these days. Yeah, that's a sad thing. The marijuana smoking has become such a popular cultural thing, especially in the gaming community, that many people think that these are blunts. Or when I was smoking my tobacco pipe, many people thought that it was a bong. They didn't know what a tobacco pipe was. They didn't know what a cigar was. But I've never tried marijuana, and I really have no intention to. I don't think there's anything immoral with it. It's not something I want to get involved with just because I don't want that level of stimulation. I think it's a completely different level of stimulation. So instead I smoke a cigar, and I smoke a cigar casually, not habitually. Missile Zanji says, the proper way to smoke a cigar is cut the cap, light the foot, suck the cap to fill your mouth, roll the smoke around with your tongue, and exhale. Blow it out. And that's correct. Oh, well, let's not ban anyone just yet. People are free to express their disagreements as long as they maintain a cordial mindset and contribute to the conversation. To those who are new to the program, the people that you're going to find here on the show are gentlemen and ladies. They treat each other with respect. They are not quick to anger. They are slow to anger. They are quick to forgive. And we have only the most highbrow of conversations here at Scotch and Smoke Rings. I promise you, you will not hear the phrase selfie or twerk on this program, except you just did, so never mind. Man Max 21 says, so will we see Oxhorns using a smoking pipe on stream? I used to. If you check some of my older episodes of Scotch and Smoke Rings on YouTube, you're going to see that I've been doing this for 6 years now. And I started with a tobacco pipe. That was my go-to combustible of choice. I just find cigars to be so much easier. You don't have to pack the pipe properly. You don't have to constantly relight it, which you do with tobacco pipes. So that's why I prefer this cigar, personally. I realize marijuana is still illegal in much of the world, but here in Seattle it's legal. They passed a law that it's legal to a certain extent here. So as I drive around the town, I see marijuana shops all over the place. It's crazy. And yet I've never bought any, I've never tried any. It's not something I want to get involved in. That's not a cultural thing I want to involve myself with. I much prefer a cigar. You can still be social with it. You can still enjoy it over a nice span of time. It doesn't affect your mind. And I don't know how it affects your mind, how marijuana affects your mind, because I've never tried it. So I admit that lapse of experience on my end. But it's just not something I want to get involved with personally. I'm almost done with this, and we'll be able to start the show. Chief Smash has a good point. He says, I have no problem with weed itself, but I find the culture around it to be highly irritating. It's also something we apparently know surprisingly little about in terms of long-term effects. That's true. That's actually a really good point. Well, I also find the culture to be irritating. I hate to say this because I don't want to open up a can of worms, but just hearing people online talk about weed, they seem to be really kind of self-righteous about it. And I know not all marijuana smokers are like that, so I'm not trying to put everyone in the same pot. But from what I've experienced, from what I've heard from people, the way I've heard people talk about it is they almost talk about it as if it's a civil rights issue, or that somehow by smoking marijuana they're better people. And again, I realize that not all marijuana smokers are like that. It's just what I've experienced, and it turns me off. That culture, it just really turns me off. I don't do this because I'm sticking it to the man, or I'm doing something that's superior. I smoke a cigar just because it's a nice hobby. It's a hobby, and it's a pastime, and I can be social with it, and I can relax after a hard day's work. And then when I'm done, I don't think about it again. It's not part of my identity. It's not. I do have tobacco pipes sitting in my office, but I don't have a big thing of bongs. It's just a casual pastime. And if this disappeared from my life, my identity wouldn't change. I don't identify myself with it. And that, I think, is the issue with many things. When you take any substance or any hobby or any series of movies and TV shows or any genre of books, and that becomes your identity, apart from which you have none, that, I think, is where your personal boundaries have been. You've gone over the boundary. This has become less of a hobby, and it's become a crutch upon which you identify. And I believe weak-minded people tend to do that. Not that anyone in this chat would ever do that. Not that anyone who watches this show is like that. I'm not talking about anyone specifically. So please, nobody get offended. Oh, I'm going to be getting some email now. I know it. Missile Sanji says, Ox for President 2020? Well, I've got, what, a month to run for the presidency? Yeah, that's what I'll do. I'll take up Cigar as my banner, and I'll start a movement, and I'll run for the presidency in 2016. Could I defeat Hillary? Yeah. Could I defeat Trump? Oh, yeah. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. You're seeing the beginning of a movement here. Oxstar says something very topical. How to make Oxhorn's channel political. Red cup. Now go! I'm not even going to comment. It's not worthy of a comment. It's so silly. I'm not even going to get into it. Cigar X says, you're too young, Oxhorn. How old do you have to be, like 40? Must be 35 plus? Okay. Alright, so I can't even run, ladies and gentlemen. Alas. Unless I pretend I'm 35 and then don't release my birth certificate. I can do that. All right, it's starting to wind down here, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to turn this off in just a moment. And that's it. Okay. Let's move the show back into the office. There we go. How's that? All right, I'm going to turn off Periscope. Thanks for watching, everybody, on Periscope. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you can all hear me. If not, I'm sure you'll let me know really quickly. Okay. We see you and we hear you, says the gentleman badger. This is good. I've got some cigar ash on my coat. Okay, so let's check out your recorded messages and your fan art. Let's see, how many recorded messages do we have? Quite a few. All right, first on the program is Gentleman Badger. What's on your mind, good sir?
Hail, hail, my friend. I hope you're doing well tonight. Tonight, I have another question for you, and it's a rather controversial question.
Okay.
About a gamely game by the name of Hearthstone.
Okay.
A lot of people feel that recently the game has gotten exponentially fast. Too fast, probably. A lot of what I encounter in ranked play these days are incredibly quick decks. Since the nerf to Grim Patron, which really, controlled a lot of these aggressive decks, I've experienced turn 5 losses, turn 4 losses. Pretty much anything in the book. It's crazy. So do you think that the game has gotten too fast? And do you prefer the faster meta? Or do you prefer the slow, long, and drawn-out games with all the epic minions? Thank you, sir. I'm happy to get your feedback. And as always, everybody, please stay classy.
I think what you're experiencing is just that the user base of Hearthstone is becoming much more challenging. People are getting better. They're becoming better players. And because of that, I think it's, if you don't have a deck that's built to withstand certain other decks, then they're just going to whip through you really quickly. I know that for me personally, there's a lot of new content coming out, and it's really overwhelming to keep tabs on. So I've just decided I'm going to collect cards as they come. I'm not going to put too much thought and energy into it and just enjoy myself. And if I die a lot, I die a lot. That's what happens. Madman Max, you're on the program. What's on your mind, good sir?
Greetings, Oxhorn. It is your ever-friendly Madman Max here today. Today we're going to look at the Kelpie and the Dullahan. Dullahan has another name in America. It's had a number of films about it. Some you might have grown up with. Possibly from Disney. The Kelpie, I don't think it's had any films. But all the same, it's been quite well received in some cases. Take a guess at the Dullahan's name, and guess what the Kelpie actually is. But today I also have a riddle for you. It comes from above, can also form down below. It can be white, it can be black. Joyous for some, a nuisance for others. What could it be, Oxhorn? Take a guess.
Alright, so
enjoy your scotch.
I don't know what a Kelpie is. I'm just going to have to plead ignorance on that. Right, it comes from above, it comes from below. It can be white, it can be black. For some it's a nuisance, for others they like it. What is it? Rain comes from above and it comes from below, because water comes from below. And yet it's neither white nor black, so it can't be water. Light comes from above, but it doesn't come from below. I don't know. I'm going to have to plead ignorance on that as well and ask for the answer. Next up is Andy the DK. What's on your mind?
And now, ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from Stormwind City, it's Quickfire Questions! And now, ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome the host with the most. Here's Andy the DK. Greetings, everyone. It's so great to be back on Quickfire Questions. Thank you all for tuning in. I am your host, Andy the DK, and I apologize for not being here the past 2 weeks. I caught a little bit of the leper gnome disease. Don't get too close to those little buggers. All right, welcome, everyone. So this week, as always, we welcome our guest, Mr. Oxhorn. How are you doing tonight, sir?
Doing
Hope you're
well.
doing well. Are you ready for some quick fire questions?
I am.
Because here we go.
Let's go.
Ox, tonight's topics are all about Blizzard general knowledge. Let's see how well you know their games and Blizzard in general. Question number 1. How many Hearthstone adventures have been released so far? Question number 2. In WoW Legion, what are the Demon Hunters
4.
specs called? And question number 3. What year was the very first BlizzCon? Thank you, Ox, and thank you everyone for listening. Until next time, this is your humble host, Andrew the DK, reminding you all to get your Murlocs spayed and or neutered.
It's either
Good night,
2005 or 2006. One of those. 2005, 2006 for BlizzCon. I have no idea about the Death Knight thing. And BlizzCon, I think, is 2000. And then Adventures, I think it's 4. I think it's 4 Adventures. 2005. There you go. Next is Majin Justin. What's on your mind, good sir?
Hello, Oxhorn, Majin Justin here. I have a question for you. You're inventing swear words, which is blit, blight, check, grat, walsh, and flak. Now, have you been having any other suggestions for invented curse words? Or do you have any new ones at the moment that you've been thinking of?
No, because I think those are quite sufficient. Grat, Shack, Walsh, Blit, Flak were my original ones. Then for inventing swear words 2, we came out with Bloit. And that kind of solved everything. I think you can pretty much... I mean, because think about, in American English, how many swear words are there? There are only a handful of 4-letter words that you can use for most situations. You turn almost anything into a swear word if you want, but the canon, so to speak, is fairly limited. So I don't think I'll be making any more anytime soon. That's pretty much all there are. Dermalol says, "Oh, did you update your page? It looks great." I updated my Twitch page. And for those asking where to send me a message, there's a link on my Twitch page. Just scroll down and you're going to see a Leave Oxhorn a message link, and you click on that to get to it. I also redid Scotch and Smoke Rings a little bit, scotchandsmokerings.com a little bit. Okay, Hearthstone. Let's fire this bad boy up. Now for today, I'd like to do some Tavern Brawl. I think that sounds like a lot of fun.
Welcome! Boys, make some room by the hearth, won't ya?
So here's the League of Explorers. And as you can see, I don't have anything yet because I haven't purchased it. And that's okay.
Nefarian versus
Fan art! That's right, I almost forgot. I'll do fan art after this battle. Fancy Badger! Let's do this, Fancy Badger.
I am the master here.
Madman Max says the Dulan is known as the Headless Horseman. The Kelpie, or Water Kelpie, is the Scots name given to a shape-shifting water spirit inhabiting the lochs and pools of Scotland. It has usually been described as appearing as a horse, but is able to adopt human form and its clouds. Okay. Well, that's good to know.
Job's done.
Let's try that.
Perish in flames!
Why, thank you, Fancy Badger. Oh, and he pulls a hard tongue, ladies and gentlemen. He pulled a hard tongue. Alright, I forgot to do fan art. Let me go ahead and pull up my Facebook. And we'll go through fan art really quickly and then get back to the game. Alright. Andy says, here are some cosplays that happened last weekend. Cosplayer Papa Cosplay. Look at that. Wow, that's pretty impressive. Wow, look at all those cosplays. Makes me miss my days of going to BlizzCon. Looks pretty doggone impressive, that's for sure. Wow, these guys are creative. Look at them go. That is quite a list. I can't go through it all, but it does look amazing. Here's the machinima. I can't play it because it's a video. Dylan says, I went through with it. Now exists now a thing. I present SWATOR, Scotch and Smoke Rings crew, the Scotch and Smoke Rings episode where Ox created a space smoke ship. Okay. So we've got Dragon Exile, the Mandalorian muscle. And there's Oxhorn, the ship's captain. Okay, that does look like me. Looking nice. Are you double hearing things? Oh, sorry about that. I think I might have... No, I don't. I mean, is anyone else double hearing things. I don't have Twitch open in another tab. So I can't explain it. Okay, you fixed it? Okay, great. So there I am. Nicely done. Here's Staghorn, the explosives expert. Alright. Here's Nova, the runaway Sith. Mortus, the stealth expert. Gwendolyn, gifted with the Force. Gavin, gifted with the Force. Very sweet. Gulbreth, the ship's engineer. Mjolnir, the ship. And then Dragon Exile again. Well, thank you for that, Dragon Exile. Very creative. Love it. Now, I'm not sure if Oxhorn will throw a fit at this picture, but I do believe I found Gavin in Stormwind as a Worgen. Wink, wink. Sorry, Oxhorn, had to be done. Gavin? In Stormwind? Because he's a ninja? I guess I don't get the joke, but I thank you for that. Then there's this by Imagine Justin. I saw a picture that's the breakfast of champions. And it's a bacon burger. An epic bacon burger. Looks delicious. Thank you so much for that. Me, Darium, and 5 others took down Lormathar. Congratulations, good sir. And the rest are all videos. And yeah. Damon LaRue is showing off some new cards. These are the new cards that come in the new expansion. Very cool. And I believe that's it. Okay. Thank you everybody for your fan art. Let's get back to Hearthstone. Alright, I am accepting your challenges. Alright, let's do this.
Nefarian versus Ragnaros.
I will have my revenge, dragon! I am the master here.
Gulbreth is now Gulbag due to Twitch errors. Alright, thanks for letting me know, John. Gosh, just not getting lucky with these cards.
By fire, be purged! I hear your heart beating.
Pasha says, "Hi Scotch, how you doing today, buddy? I'm doing very well. Pleasure to have you on the program. How are you doing today?" Well played. let's try that.
My work is paramount. Leave me alone.
Always wins brawls! Oh no.
You shall pay for your ignorance!
Stop distracting me!
Want to burn first?
Could have been worse.
You will perish in flames!
Stop distracting me!
Yeah, let's try that. Imagine Justin says, see, Oxhorn, the donating thing on the page. What's it run by? It's PayPal, I think. Simple PayPal. Jude asks, so Oxhorn, what do you think of the Explorers League trailer? Looks okay. It was really short, but then again, it is Hearthstone, so I suppose that's all right. No, it looks interesting. Makes me want to play it. Oh, Gold Mag. Not Gold Mag.
My work is paramount.
Blackwing!
Job's done.
This will be tricky. Rolled the dice on that one, my friend. Well played indeed. Nicely done, good sir. I just got lucky there. I'll gladly admit. Good game, Valden. Good game. Alright, I think I've got time for definitely one, maybe more. We'll see. Ah! Okay, well, I don't know what happened there. But I'm mentally preparing.
Ragnaros!
Oh, Matt and Justin, I'm sorry.
Nefarious!
It ended up being Greg Hartog.
The master.
Alright, Greg.
I will have my revenge, dragon! Toxitron ready.
Job's done.
Emitting gas.
Well done.
Taste the flames of Sulfuron!
Job's done.
I wield the power, Black. Taste the flames of Sulfuron!
Tricky, tricky. Interesting.
My work is paramount. Leave me alone.
Taste the flames of Sophia! Taste the flames of Sophia! Perish in flames!
Necessary?
I'm sorry, Greg. I'm sorry. I know it's infuriating. Well, it's good to have you, Goldbreath. Alright, this will be my last one for the night. We'll do the smoke ship afterwards. Chief Smash says, and don't forget the shimmy. Alright, alright, alright.
Well played!
And he pulls a hard tongue, ladies and gentlemen, as to be expected, but that's okay. It is, after all, his namesake. All right, ladies and gents, give me your smoke ship ideas, and we will create something beautiful from nothing. What is on your minds? Gentleman Badger says, hopefully I'll be able to show you my new deck next week. Not going easy on you after tonight. Okay, alright. That presumes you've been going easy on me at all to date. We shall see. Alright, Madman Max says, I'm going to give you my ship over Skype because it's really long. 209 words long, single space. Look. Length of smoke ship does not mean better smoke ship. If anything, it makes it harder for me to choose it as a smoke ship, because then I'd have to say it twice. So I'll read it. We'll see. But that it's, you know, the mark of a good writer, just saying, the mark of a good writer is the ability to pack in the most information possible in the least amount of words. Okay. Are you ready for Madman Max's smoke ship? Okay, here we go. Smoke ship time. This is from Madman Max. My smoke ship this week. Gaff Ketch ship with Oxhorn and Staghorn holding an elf off the bow of the ship by its ankles. As sharks circled the dangling elf with its blood dripping into the water slowly as the elf's ears had been removed and nailed above the door as good luck charms, who should show up but old Roper and his mighty kraken to threaten Oxhorn and Staghorn with kamikaze gnome subs, but as the gnomes were so small compared to the ship, the tiny bombs they had did not even scratch the wooden hull of the Gaff Ketch. I'm assuming Gaff Ketch is the name of the ship. Oxhorn and Staghorn laughed loudly, almost taunting the sea god of the dead, as a tentacle wrapped around both of their necks, dragging them to the bottom of the sea. As the cold water hit their bodies, they lost their breath, and everything went black. Staghorn awoke in his bed in Tarn Mill, sweating, clearly shaken from the bad dream, saying, "That's the last time I have dwarf sandwiches before bed," heading downstairs and grabbing a bottle of scotch and a cigar, sitting on his porch, listening to the crickets chirp on a warm summer's evening, and falling back asleep in his deck chair. Okay. It was quite a masterpiece you have there. Dermalal says, children's shoes never worn. You know, that's true. It says a lot. How about cigars for sale never used to make smoke ships? There you go. No, it's a type of ship, says Madman Max. All right. Well, for lack of competitors, for lack of challengers, we're going to go with Madman Max. Are you ready? Okay. Yeah, and just at the last moment, Chief Smash says, Barnaby on a ship with sails made of fine Connecticut leaf, as it sails the Scoresby seas under clouds of finest smoke rings. Beautiful, simple, to the point. It looks good. Alright, here we go. I'll still do Madman Max's. Whoa! Did you see it? I surprise myself sometimes. But there before your eyes was a Gaff Ketch ship, which you will all have to Google later, I'm sure, with Oxhorn and Staghorn aboard, holding an elf off of the bow of the ship by its ankles. Sharks circled around the dangling elf because its blood was dripping into the water, and the elf's ears had been removed and nailed above the door as good luck charms. But who should show up? None other than old Roper and his mighty kraken to threaten Oxhorn and Staghorn with kamikaze gnome subs. But all was not lost, for the gnomes were so small compared to the ship that the tiny bombs they had didn't even scratch the wooden hull of the gaff ketch. Oxhorn and Staghorn laughed loudly, almost taunting the sea god of the dead, as a tentacle wrapped around both of their necks, dragging them to the bottom of the sea. And as the cold water hit their bodies, they lost their breath, and everything went black. And then Staghorn awoke in his bed in Tarn Mill, sweating, clearly shaken from the bad dream, saying, "That's the last time I have dwarf sandwiches before bed." Heading downstairs and grabbing a bottle of scotch and a cigar, sitting on his porch listening to the crickets chirp on a warm summer's evening, and then falling back asleep in the deck chair. We know, however, that he must be dead because it's winter, not summer. So he died in that water, and that was his spirit in the afterlife, enjoying the summer's day. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for coming to this week's episode of Scotch and Smoke Rings. I will have the replay up online as soon as possible. I will see you next week, same Ox time, same Ox channel, and until then, ladies and gentlemen, I beg you all, my friends, to stay classy.